Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. A very warm welcome to English grade 8 video lesson series. I hope that you are learning so much and following the lessons. Today we will talk about aspect of time. Now, this is our lecture 2. Let's read our learning outcomes. Now, this learning outcome is connected with tenses as well. So, I want you to revise and recall your knowledge of tenses. Present, past, and future, and all these 3 or 4 different variations of the tenses. Let's begin the lesson by reading our student learning outcomes. First, we will see that how we can use aspect of time correctly in our speech and writing. Then we will also use all types of tenses correctly in speech and writing. So, in our sentencing student, when we are explaining something, when we are describing or telling something, we need to put some perspective on it. We need to handle the time with care so that the information is correct. So how can we do it? Let's talk about it in this video lesson. Students, we are talking about aspects of time. So you are already familiar with the use of since and for. We use them to tell that for how long or from when something is happening, and that's what the since and for is used for. Now, let's talk about the use of for. We use for when we measure the duration, the time, when we say how long something lasts. So the formula, the structure is to add for plus a period of time. To measure a period of time up to the present, we use the present perfect tense, because we know that present perfect tense, the action has started in the past, but it is still valid and continued. For example, I've known her for a long time. So I have known her. For how long? If we want to tell period, if we want to tell the time or how long I have known her, then I'll say for a long time. So this is when we use our for. And I have known, this is in the present perfect tense, because the speaker knows her or the subject for a long time. So this action happened in the past and it is still continued, and we are telling about the duration, from how long it is continued till now. The present tense with for refers to a period of time that extends into the future. For example, for how long have you been here? It means the speaker is asking until when. What was the time? What was the duration, that period for which you have been here? So we can ask it in a, we can make an interrogative sentence by saying, for how long have you been here? It means you have been here, but you have been here from a very long time, exceeding actually before the present. So if you were here, then what was the duration, what was the time since when you were here? Now, since when have you been here? You can also ask this question in the same way. All right, let's talk about some uses and let's see what verb tenses are used with these examples. If I say, they walk for 2 hours every day. If I just remove for, if I say they walk 2 hours every day. But how long they have been walking? They walk for 2 hours every day. This is telling us in a present tense. They are walking for 3 hours today. You can use for in the present continuous tense as well. And we can also use it in the aspect of present perfect tense. He has lived in Lahore. For how long, if we want to tell the period, we will use for and say for a long time. He has been living in Swat for 3 months. You can mention and change the duration. It could be a week, a day, hours, months, or you can also left it unspecified. He will be in Peshawar for at least a week. Now, this is in the future tense and the prior tense was in the past tense. So all these different tenses, we are using the knowledge of tenses with aspect of time to tell from how long, for how long something is happening or will happen. So we are using for that specific purpose. All right. Since we are always learning for and since together, they are both telling us time. Let's talk about since in detail. Now, we do not use for with expressions such as if we are saying all day or all the time. If something happening for all day or all the time, then there is no need to use the word for. For example, if you say, I was there all day, this is correct, but I was there for all day is incorrect because for over here is unnecessary. Now, since gives the starting point of actions, events, or states. It refers to when things begin, when something start happening. The formula over here is since plus you mention a point in time in the past, specifically until now. For example, I've been waiting. For how long have you been waiting in the past? And you're still waiting. Since your time 7 o'clock or 2 days or etc. With since, we use the present perfect tense or the past perfect tense. For example, I have been waiting here. Now you have been waiting in the past. For how long? From when? You have been waiting here since 5 o'clock and I'm getting tired. It means the action is continued. I had been working since 5 o'clock and I was getting tired. So it means that you can use present perfect tense or the past perfect tense. So in present perfect tense and past perfect tense, the use of since is done. Since can also be used in the structure. For example, this structure, it has been plus you mention the period of time plus since. So since can also come at the end of the sentence as well. At the end of these 3 parts. It has been 2 months. I last saw her. Now, we can say we have mentioned it has been, then we mentioned the period of time 2 months, and then we added since, and then the rest of the sentence. So in these both structures, you can use them correctly when you are using since. Let's talk about conditional sentences. It means that we have a condition in them by using the word if. We have 2 conditions. The first one is called the first conditional. The first conditional, students, has the present simple after the word if. Then you use the future simple. So you're working with present simple along with future simple because this is showing a condition. This is the first conditional. The formula is if plus your present simple, then will plus infinitive. Now, why do we use it? We use it to talk about things which might happen in the future. Now, there are some variations of the first conditionals. Sometimes, instead of just using if plus present plus future, we can also use it in this variation, if plus present plus may or might, that shows possibility of something. It means there is a possibility but not certainty. For example, if the climate keeps warming, if is our conditional word, the climate keeps warming is present plus the Arctic might be warm enough for swimming. Then you add a future aspect, and this is how you create a possible variation of the first conditional in the in using the present and future. When if is used to mean as, since a variety of tense can be used in the main clause. Now there are some variation of the if clause. If plus the present continuous to indicate present actions or a future arrangement. If you're looking for Naveed, this present continuous tense with ing, you will find him upstairs. Then you have the future aspect of that sentence. If you are staying for another night, if plus your present continuous, then if you're staying for another night, then you have to make future arrangements. I'll ask the manager to give you a better room. Then the future aspect is coming over here. If you're using if with the present perfect, you will say, if you have finished dinner in the present perfect form, I'll ask the waiter for the bill. This is the future. If she has written the letter, if then present perfect, done in the past, but it is still effective, then you add your future tense or future aspect. So if she has written the letter, there is a condition, then I'll post it. Now, we are clear about the first condition with different variations and if clause. First, you can find it with present simple and future simple. Then you can find it with present or future, with possibilities, with your present continuous and present perfect. For the second conditional uses the past simple after if. It means that you are going to use the past simple tense after you using if. Then would and the infinitive. Infinitives are used for infinity. If plus your past simple, then would plus infinitive. We can use were instead of was with I and he or she or it. This is mostly done in formal writing. If I were, not if I was. So you have to, for an exception, use were with I. Now, first, we can use it to talk about things in the future that are probably not going to be true. How? If I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. Now, this is not going to happen. I probably won't win the lottery. If I won in the past, then I would have bought a big house. Since I did not win, then this part of the sentence is also not true. She would travel all over the world if she were rich. She is not rich, that's why she did not travel. Now we are talking about things in the future that are probably not going to be true. So by understanding them, you can deduct and infer some implied meaning. Secondly, we can use it to talk about something in the present which is possible because it is not true. If I had his number, I would call him. It means that I don't have his number now, so it is impossible for me to call him. If I were you, if I were at your place or if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't go out with that man. No. It's very much clear that if you're putting conditions, some things are implied, you can deduct some meanings out of them only if you are understanding the first and second conditionals. Now, students, as a classroom activity, what you're supposed to do is practice your learned concept. You can solve this and find the correct answer. I will not tell her if I were you. She cannot keep a secret. So this implies a condition that you have to find out by yourself. You can pause the video, do this activity, and we can move forward. Now, another interesting activity about since and for is that you have to work in pairs. Read the story of the main lesson. You have the text available. Use since and for to indicate time or period. For how long is something happening in the past? For how long it has been happening? Is it happening still or not? You're going to find them out in the main lesson. The worksheet is attached for your better understanding to practice since and for. The resources are available in the description of the video. You can access them. I hope that now, by solving the worksheet and the available resources, you can easily differentiate between since and for and the correct usage. You can follow different structures and variations, go through the lecture again, read it in the textbook, read the main lesson, note the possibilities and variations down to perform it better. I'll catch you up with the next video lesson, students. Till then, take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.